check the mic and make sure it sound right, boy.
Hey guys, Electron Man. Well, we're finalizing out on this Cobra 2000 restoration. We're just about done. I did want to show you a couple of cool things I've done before I button it completely up and show you the final product. But anyway, one thing is that if y'all remember when I first got it, auxiliary had a channel selector there. I mean, upper and lowers, and I can't stand that. I wanted my face to be like original, so I went back, reinstalled the auxiliary, and I moved the channel changer to the tone control, which is now your lowers and uppers, as you can see. Yeah, this made more sense. The tone in the first place, I never use a tone, and typically about 3/4 to 90% is where I leave it anyway, and I'm not disconnecting it. Actually, see here, I'm going to go ahead and tape it up before I close it up, but basically I just uninstalled the tone control, and I'll just put it in here all nice and tie wrap it up and tape it so that it doesn't have any shorts in it. And I moved my expansion to the tone, which before it was here, it was all jammed in. It was kind of giving me problems. When you turn it, it was grounding out. Anyway, this just made a lot more sense. It mounts in there nice and neat. It looks really good, and you can't tell from the front of the radio that it's got an expansion if you don't know the tones there. But anyway, I just thought that was a cool little mod. As you can see, I've got it all cleaned up, blown out, wiped down, no flux. I mean, she's looking premium. But this will probably be the last picture I'll show the underside unless I need to do something with it. But as you can see, I cleared up all my final work over there where they had that weird funky thing going on. And she's ready to rock and roll. Anyway, let me go ahead and get this stuff buttoned up, and then I'll come back and show you the finished product. But I kind of wanted to show you the cool little mod I did as far as the uppers and lowers. I didn't really want to lose them. I think it's kind of cool to have them. And this is, to me, the best solution. So tell me what you think. Anyway, let me get moving forward with the rest of it, putting back together. Just thought I'd kind of show you what she's capable of. Hello, audio. Oh, and sideband. Yeah, she's a killer on sideband, which I'm not going to adjust this anymore. I'm going to leave her right where she's at. About 18 watts, and she's stingy. I guarantee she's a good solid 20. Anyway, let me get back to what I was doing. Hey guys, still working on this Cobra 2000. Holy cow, I opened a can of worms. I was using the service manual, and I went from page 1 at the very top, and I was going to do alignment on every single item on the whole radio. Well, if you look, I don't know if it, on the last page, you do a frequency counter alignment. That right here is the last one, and I had it hooked up to my oscilloscope up here. And I, you know, some of these test points I'm not real happy about because like the test point on the frequency counter is actually pin 5 of this little 8-pin, and then you turn this pot until you get the highest reference on the oscilloscope. But anyway, I'm not trying to tell you how to do the tune, but anyway, so I popped the lid here on the frequency counter. I got in there, and I started probing pin 5. And I was looking at the scope, and it went up and to, you know, the level, and I was going to start tuning it. And so anyway, I had to find my little tuning screwdriver, you know, my little tuning screwdriver here. And anyway, so I find a tuning screwdriver. I get back in the radio, and I go back on pin 5, and I got no reference on the oscilloscope. And then I look on the front of the radio, and I got no clock frequency counter. It's completely black, no power. It's like, and I'm like, did I short the pin 5 on that? I mean, I was being super careful, and I was using the micro tip on it and holding it steady. I don't really like having to do that. I would like to be able to clip it, but it's so soldered to close to the board, I can't even get behind it to put a normal clip on it. Anyway, I don't want to get too long in explanation, but it's 1:30 in the morning now, or 1:45, and this thing's running me ragged. Needless to say, the last 3 steps of it was getting ready to put this baby on the table and admire it and talk on it, and I lose the frequency counter. I mean, super bummed. So anyway, I ended up pulling the whole frequency counter out and started troubleshooting it, and, you know, going through there checking the diodes. I thought maybe maybe I static discharged something, checked the FETs, the FETs, and they were appearing good. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I went back and I checked, make sure I had power coming through. The actual power the power's frequency counter is on the back side here. So I traced the wire back, made sure I had power here. I had power. It's like, what has happened to my frequency counter? So anyway, long story short, after sitting there for several hours testing capacitors and transistors and FETs, I noticed that this plug here on the back side of it, it's a 4-pin plug, and one of the pins was green. I should have noticed it earlier, but man, I was in a rabbit hole because I thought I shorted something out inside of it. So anyway, long story short, I get back there and I get a little screwdriver, clean off the green, resolder it, actually resolder the whole connector because a couple of other connectors didn't look real good. Got that resoldered and plugged it back in, and voila, I'm right back to where I should be. Frequency counter, clock, everything's working. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And the thing is, the only thing I can think of is whenever I pull the cover, because now I've actually got this frequency counter loose. I need to rebolt it back into the chassis because I pulled it completely out. But the only thing I can think of is when I was pulling the lid, I must have flexed it just enough to cause. But I'm still confused on that, because if I did that, then why did I have a reference to start with, and then I went back? I didn't. Maybe it was me pushing on that. You know, it's one of them things, man. When you're a tech, sometimes weird things will happen, and I went down a rabbit hole because I was convinced that I had somehow accidentally shorted the pin or static discharged it or something, and come to find out all it was is the dang power plug going into the frequency counter. But needless to say, I'm a happy camper. I'm back up and running. It's 1:30 in the morning. I got to put her all back together now, do my final 3 alignments on it, and I'm going to put the cover on it and leave it alone for a while because, pretty stressful. I mean, that's kind of like, I kind of killed a big part of the 2000 when it had nothing here. It was a blank screen. But we're back, so as you can see, I need to still align the frequency counter because it's completely, this radio is fully aligned. I mean, I can get into a lot of detail, but you got a test point 1 here, and then these are all your pots to adjust your frequencies on your synthesizer, and that's kind of where you start. And then you got to anyway. If somebody was really interested, maybe I'd sit down and go through the whole alignment from step 1 through step 3. But you're going to need a good frequency counter. You're going to need a good flute quality voltmeter. You're going to need an oscilloscope. You're going to need a power meter. You're going to need a dummy load. You're going to need a few things. It's not just in here taking screwdrivers and turning. There's test points all over the place, and you got to use those and use the references on the manual to tune everything. But anyway, guys, sorry, this was kind of going to be the final of just me putting it back together and showing it off, but I've spent at least, this happened about 9, so what is it, 1:30 now, so it got me for about 4.5 hours, had me chasing my tail. And well, one thing good about it is I've checked all the caps in there and they're fine. So I mean, I wasn't probably going to do that, but I did, since I thought maybe, I don't know. But anyway, guys, let me come back when I get her all bolted back. I'm going to bed for the night, and we'll get her bolted all up and the final 3 steps of the alignment done here on this, which basically is input oscilloscope to test point 504, which is IC5 pin 5, which is IC 512 is that IC right there. So I need to come off of pin 5, need to put it on channel 19 AM, and then I need to adjust for maximum amplitude on my oscilloscope, and then once I got maximum amplitude, it says half turn clockwise, and then I'm going to input 502, which is actually this test point right here where I got the paper touched, and then I'm going to do channel 19 upper sideband, and then I'll just adjust it for maximum RF, and then the last thing is put it on channel 19 AM, and then CT05, which is the little red one in there, that is actually your frequency adjustment, and then I'll obviously adjust it for 27,185. And that will be the final part of the full tune-up, and this thing has been through a full tune-up. I'm talking page 1 through all the end of it, everything that service manual has as far as alignment. I line the synthesizer, I line the receiver, I line the transmitter per specs. This thing is probably more aligned than when it came out of the factory, because they probably didn't spend as much time and be as picky about the alignment as I was. But anyway, guys, I'll be back. All right, guys, there she is in all of her glory. Sounds like we got a little bit of skip rolling in here. But anyway, here she is all in her glory. I have realigned and lined everything in it to factory specs from step 1 through every single step. As you can see, she is a receiving animal. As you notice, I've got the whole front completely back to stock. Went back to auxiliary port in it. No indication of any modifications. Notice on the tone, now there. And then we have uppers. Notice everything's spot on frequency too, including the regular channels. Spot on frequency. Pretty amazing, huh? I got the D104 wired up for it. I actually prefer a hand mic that, and I think this actually performs a little better. As you can see, I'm 27025, lower sideband 27025, upper sideband 27025. Yeah, she's aligned all the way through receive and transmit, as well as we'll go up here. I don't want to beam on that channel, but as you can see, we're still on frequency. But let's check out the wattage on her. I set her to factory 4 watts, which if you look up there, you can see we got exactly 4 watts. Swinging right at 12. Not bad for stock. I did open up in the swing a little bit on it, but other than that, she's stalker. Oh, on sideband here, we'll go hello audio. Swinging about 18, modulate 15 to 18. Yeah, she's see, I got my meters all working good. Hello audio. Oh, I'm on sideband. I was like, where's my modulation? Hello audio. As you can see, showing transmitting 4 watts on the meter. Swinging off the scale. That's right, folks. Check her out. Oh yeah. She's a clean one too. I'm gonna look at the back there. I'm really proud of it. Took me a while to get her here, but took me a while to get her there, but I think I got a beautiful rig here. And like I said, she's lined 100% up, even on the lowers and uppers, which I put on the tone control. I just think that's a much cleaner way of doing it. And obviously, I did not disconnect anything on the tone. It's still inside there, and it can be readjusted. You just have to pop the bottom panel, 6 screws, if you really wanted to adjust the tone. But I typically like it about 90% on tone anyway, so I just put it where I like it, and we'll roll with it. Didn't have to do anything to the external speaker. I do think I'm going to put a new label set on it just to make her as beautiful as I possibly can. But guys, 100% restoration. Hope you enjoyed this series. I did. I think I got my money's worth just having fun and learned a little bit more about 2000s. I don't know that I've ever went completely through a full factory alignment on one like that, and I learned a little bit. Fortunately, I had all the equipment to do it. Probably the only snafu in this whole rebuild is when I lost the frequency counter, which that was a bad day. I was so convinced I'd blown something up. Come to find out, it was just a corroded solder pad that took me down that path. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this whole series. Again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. And as always, have a great day. This is Electron Man.